Hey everyone, this is Kyle Kramer, the Executive Director at the Earth and Spirit Center, and I am joined by three good friends and colleagues, Di Kerrigan, Debbie Laporte, and Joe Phelps.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Cal.
This magnificent trio is going to be facilitating a new course for us this fall entitled Listen, Learn, Act, Finding a Path Forward in West Louisville. So before we get started to talk a little bit about this class, I would love to hear just a sentence or two from each of you about who you are and how you got interested in topics of racial equity and justice. So I'm going to call first on Di Kerrigan. Di?
I'm Di Kerrigan, and I have been working with the Earth and Spirit Center as a volunteer for several years, working as a mindfulness mentor, and we serve a lot of communities that are somewhat challenged. So my interest in that population has always been there. And some of the civil unrest that we've seen in the past year has really drawn me to this journey for social justice.
Well, and a shout out, Di, you started a Facebook group, and it's become a website and kind of a movement in Louisville called?
It's called White Women Listen, Learn, Act. It started White Women Demand Justice for Breonna Taylor last year, but we have learned and listened, and we are now on a longer journey than just being angry. We are on a journey to listen and learn and then act.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're part of this, and you're doing great work there. Joe, you are kind of a veteran in this space of racial justice. Do you want to say just a word or two about your background and your involvement?
Yeah, I was a pastor for a minister in the Christian church for 42 years, and loved being the pastor of Highland Baptist here locally. And as in that role, I helped start a group called Empower West Louisville, which is a Black and white clergy coalition committed to racial justice for West Louisville. And so through that and other, just through Highland, I was blessed to be able to get connected to the Black community. And it's my honor to try to help connect Earth and Spirit to the Black community as a result.
Fantastic. And Debbie, how about you?
Well, I'm a retired English teacher who taught literature and creative writing at New Mexico State University for many years. And as part of the literary and creative community there, I was very involved in social justice and racial justice issues. And when I retired and came here, became involved with Earth and Spirit Center as a mindfulness mentor. And I am the co-chair of White Women Listen, Learn, Act. Di and I developed that together.
Co-founder, yes.
Yes, in the wake of the Breonna Taylor killing. And so we have been active in, as Di said, we're listening, learning, and acting, and that we see ourselves as sort of conduit of going out and learning everything that we can and passing that on to our membership. And so that's what we'll be doing here, is learning.
Yeah, we basically took their title and pirated it because it's such a great paradigm. Listen, learn, and then act.
Well, that gives me a great segue, Joe. You and I have been talking about doing a course like this for quite a while because you've been involved in other racial equity and justice courses that we have offered here at the Earth and Spirit Center. Can you speak to how this course maybe evolved out of other work that we have been doing and still do to educate folks about racial justice issues? How does this fit into that sequence, and
Sure.
how's it different?
Yeah.
How's it different?
Well, I think we began a number of years ago, really before the issue was certainly as public and as national as it is now. And so I'm grateful for that because we were able to learn some of the terminology and begin to kind of had an advanced lesson on that before sort of the nation did. Words like reparations and such we wrestled with in some of the classes that we taught. And then most recently, we did one on racial wounds, trying to recognize the racial wounds that have cropped up here in Louisville by listening to some of Black Louisville's leaders And I think from that, we recognize we need to do more listening, but we don't need to keep asking West Louisville what they want and need, because they've told us. It's in a document called A Path Forward. So with the blessing of the Urban League, we are taking that document and as white people listening, learning, asking questions, and then discerning how we are called to act individually and corporately.
Okay, so this is not by any means just like an academic course, learning about racial justice issues. This is, the learning is really geared toward doing and toward engaging actively in these issues. Is that right?
Yeah, and really, to describe it as a course is in almost kind of sets it on an odd path, because it's not that the three of us have anything to teach the group, but rather here's the document. Let us as a group come together as a forum to hear it, listen to it, understand it more deeply, and yeah, then absolutely the call is then to act. This is not just intellectual gymnastics. This is Louisville, Kentucky, 2021, white people who are beginning to awaken and go, what can we do?
Okay, so I want to latch on. Thank you for that. So it sounds like whether folks have taken our coursework in the past before, this is perfectly appropriate for them to plug into, and maybe we describe it less as a course than more as a like action discernment group or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You've mentioned several times white people. All of us on this call are white. That you three instructors are white. First of all, is this course only for white people? Is it exclusive in that way? And second of all, and Debbie rather, I'll give you this question to you. Is it only for white people? And the other part of that question is it appropriate and responsible for a course like this or an experience like this to be led only by white instructors? So maybe Debbie, I'll give you the first part of that question at least, and maybe Di, you can grab the second part.
The course is open to everyone who wants to join in, and everybody who is interested in studying the issues that affect Louisville Black community and racially impact them, and look at the solutions that were proposed by the Urban League 14 months ago. We're going to start by looking at what has been done. So this is information that we're exploring, and then we're going to look at ways that we as a community and individually can be behind the push for these solutions. And so it's entirely appropriate, I think, that we as white people get involved in this fight, or in this exploration and in this action.
Di, what about the fact that the facilitation, you three, is all white people? Now, I know that you're going to have a lot of guest speakers. Maybe you want to speak to that?
Yes, we will have guest speakers, Black and white guest speakers, but talking about, and I can speak personally about this, is I think a lot of white people, and I don't mean this negatively, but a lot of us have lived somewhat in a bubble, sort of protected from the troubles and some of the unrest and some of the problems that exist in our city, because it's not in our backyard. It's not our problem. But what we've come to realize is it is our problem. It's a problem for our community. And as a white person, I think for me, coming out of the bubble and recognizing that these community problems exist, I feel like an awakening. I feel like my eyes have started to open and see differently. And I invite everyone to just explore that. I don't ever want to shame anyone or anything like that. But for me, it's just been amazing how I just didn't know. And now I'm learning. And so I think white people have a lot of learning to do.
Well, yeah, in a way, we're trying to empower the white community by giving them the ability to join in to being part of the work of love that's happening here. We're not going to lead it, but we can be part of it. We have to be part of it.
Well, I am so excited about this course. I'm so grateful to all three of you for being willing to facilitate it along with the guest instructors. And just as a quick set of details for those watching, this course will begin on September 7th. It runs Tuesday mornings, 10 to 11:30. It will run for 6 weekly meetings. We are meeting in person for those who are vaccinated and willing to wear masks, and there are Zoom options in parallel with that. We will be simulcasting this for those who are less comfortable in person. And I should be quick to say that we are offering this course for free. We hope that we will receive donations. We encourage donations, but we would like to offer this as a free opportunity for folks to really get engaged. And with that, I can't wait for this to start. Thank you so much to all three of you. I know it's going to be an amazing experience. And I would conclude briefly by saying that this is our first try at this. And the path forward is a big document. And you guys are focused on which topics again of that document? Housing and policing. Okay, but there are, I believe, a total of 5 or 6 main planks to that. So we hope to be able to run this course again with subsequent iterations that focus on different parts of that document or further deeper drill downs into topics that we may have already covered. So looking forward to seeing you guys in a few weeks, and thank you so much. You bet.
Thanks, Kyle.